Warning, this podcast will contain spoilers and my ever-decaying sanity.
Yep.
What a beautiful mistake that this is.
What's up, everyone? And welcome to another episode of the As Seen on TV podcast for the originals. Season 3, Episode 6, Beautiful Mistake. I'm your host, Mike, and joining me is Miss Nikki.
Hello?
And the Peekaboo Dom.
Dominoes?
Peekaboo!
And what was the dancing, but is now the unable to breathe Kim.
I broke her.
How are you all tonight? Kim, feel free to wait until you can breathe again to answer.
Broke I swear to God, we haven't had anything to drink tonight.
We didn't. No, completely. This is all I drank. I can't get the bottle out of the cup. All I drank tonight was sparkling water. And I'm out of it. This is going to go well. I don't know. Before anybody loses it again.
I completely broke the podcast.
What did you guys think of this episode?
Rebecca!
She
That's all
sure
I thought.
never.
She's back.
Yeah, Rebecca's back, and we see her in witch body for a whole of a minute and a half.
2 seconds.
I was sad because I like that actress.
I do too. And that's what makes it really difficult, because you guys know I'm more partial to Claire, but I really, honestly, truly enjoy the witch Rebecca as well.
So did I.
I did too. But it's a shame, because now that body dead.
That body's long gone.
That body is dead, and Rebecca wakes up looking around like, oh shit.
Well, she was keeping her body with her, which I thought, Klaus had it in safekeeping.
So
That's
did
what I
I.
was under the assumption as
Yeah.
well.
Mm-hmm.
But
Apparently she kept it with her in case of emergency.
I guess so.
What better way to keep an eye on it than to have it with you?
Yeah.
I think
Parent-
that'd be weird.
It would be kind of weird.
Staring at you. Staring at myself.
But, in this lovely place, Rebecca finds Aya. Who, Aya, the Strix, the lady who kicked the crap out of Marcel. And, then has a group of lackeys, like dozens of them, ready to subdue Rebecca, until Freya pops in, all ghostly and ghastly, and snaps all their necks. Which is kind of scary.
It was an awesome scene.
It's like,
It really was.
not only can I break the neck of every vampire in this room, I can do it from 1,000 miles away.
Same time.
Freya is crazy, and that's why I mentioned it a couple times to Mike when we were watching. I'm like, they really should have not gone with the sire bullshit quite yet. They should have focused more on Hope, because she is the same type of powerful as Freya, except she's also a vampire and a werewolf. Right. They need to take care of that. Like, they need to address that now, because we've already seen her have, do magic. We've already seen her do that. So it's obvious that she's already super powerful, even as, what is she, like 10 months? 11 months?
Less than a year.
Yeah.
Or approaching a year very rapidly. So.
Yes. So, I know sidetrack, but because you started talking about the year, and all of a sudden I just instantly jumped to the Vampire Diaries time jumping. Technically, the time jump hasn't happened yet. We're just getting like little flash forwards on Vampire Diaries of the timeline.
Yeah.
But we are told that the timeline is going to catch up by the end of the season. So I think probably around the time that it does that, we might get a time jump in the originals as well.
I hope so.
You know what? Yeah, I like that. So then it, brings Hope a few years faster, a few years up without us having to wade through 3 more seasons waiting for
I
it.
mean, for all we know, they may just wait and do that during the season break too. So that's
Or-
possible. They don't have to be completely aligned the entire time.
No, and I mean, I'm still of the opinion that we're not going to see a time jump in the originals.
No, I mean, it's still there. Even though we don't see crossovers, their timelines are still super connected.
You can't say we don't see crossovers. We just not recently. Like we had a lot with Tyler and stuff in the first season.
Yeah, I'm
so.
talking about like now. We haven't like this season. There's been no crossover.
I think
But even though we haven't, the stories and the timelines are still super connected. They are in the same universe. You can't fuck that up.
Right.
Yeah, they have to coincide just in case at any given moment they decide to toss them together.
Yeah.
It kind of leaves a little room though for hey, we can do crossovers too, because if the Vampire Diaries does a 3-year time jump, then there's 3 years of we don't know where they are or what they're up to, that they could have just went to New Orleans or whatever for any reason, show up on the originals, and you can't really question much of does that work, because we don't know what they were up to in that period of time. So, like Mike said, we may not necessarily even get a time jump here. So
True,
I don't
it's
know.
possible they could just throw it in like that.
I mean, I would like, by the end of both series, for them to, like, you know, bring it all back together. But I don't know how that's going to work. If it's even worth doing at all. Anyway, moving on. After, you know, Rebecca convinces Freya to stay with her a bit to find the spell to bring back Cole, which results in Rebecca getting daggered by some crazy witch lady.
Yep.
And Aya.
But
such a tease.
the thing is, though, they don't like. She's like, "You're gonna pay for this. Like, I'm gonna hunt you down." And like, I don't think they realize how much Rebecca hates being daggered. When she gets out of that little freaking dagger coma, Aya doesn't stand a fucking chance. It doesn't matter how much training Aya has.
Out of all the originals, Rebecca definitely takes being daggered the worst.
Oh yeah, she
And you-
hates it.
Oh yeah.
And she's been and you know, she's been asleep for 6 months, so of course she had difficulty handling, you know, just run-of-the-mill vampires.
Mhm.
Even old ones, but still.
I feel like she's been daggered a lot too.
Oh, she has. She's
She
probably been
has.
daggered the most.
We don't know, but
She's been daggered the most.
I think Cole's
But-
been daggered the longest.
The longest, yes.
Yeah.
But she's been daggered the most. Like, frequently. She's had short bursts, but she always got stabbed. Always.
and she hated every single time.
Mhm.
Yes.
But the last we see of this scene, and we'll, you know, talk more about this later, is that she gets daggered, and we assume her body is now in Aya's possession. So moving on. Let's talk about Cammy, who, as of last episode, was under arrest.
Mhm.
Well, at the beginning of this episode, she gets jailbroken, apparently, or so we think. She wakes up in a very nice room, I'm guessing one of Lucian's penthouse places, or, you know, new land holdings, and he has a compelled Detective Kenny there, making him lunch.
Looked fucking good, by the way.
It really did.
Really hungry.
Yeah. So we find... I'm kind of
There-
hungry now.
There used to be a sandwich on this plate, and now there's not.
I used to have ice cream in a bowl right there, and there was a cookie.
I have a bowl right here that used to have ice cream. No cookie, though.
I had chicken.
Why do you have to one up us, B?
And now that we've...
I was just saying what I had.
Now we've spoken about food.
You're the one who brought up lunch.
Yeah.
We
Your
get
fault.
we get a little bit of Lucian's what would you say, motivations here. We still don't know really much about why, you know, we got tidbits of why they're working together, Tristan and Lucian. But Lucian is looking for a medallion, a little object, you know, metal with a bunch of runes carved into it. And he knows that he is under the impression that Cammy has it in her collection of little witchy trinkets that her family has, acquired over the years. And what an effective way to get her to tell you what you want. It's like, Detective Kinney, cut your whatever artery in your ankle. What?
Like, I had it, like, just that scene, and you go, ugh.
Dom's looking at me funny.
What if
It's a really weird noise.
What if Kinney didn't know what artery he was talking about?
Hiccup.
Would he like pause and like not do anything until like Lucian told him that one?
Your ankle, damn it.
Slice your ankle.
You know, that's a really good point.
I mean, he's a police officer. He probably knows some sort of anatomy, but I mean, well, he's a detective. But I mean, still.
I want to see a human overcome compulsion without the use of her vein. Like, take somebody with my sense of twisting everything, right? how when somebody goes, "Oh no, you're all right," and I'd be like, "No, I'm half left." Like, you get a loophole in everything, you know. So somebody compels you to do something, and you still do what you want because you are interpreting it a completely different way. So I want to see somebody do that.
I don't know if the compulsion works that way. I think I mean, my question is kind of silly, but I mean, they're projecting the vampire's projecting their exact thoughts to your brain.
Right.
So, I mean, there's no turning it around because it's their thoughts. It's what they want you to do. Exactly.
So
So
it's not what you think or what.
Yeah.
So
That's
what you're saying is, if
that-
I was a vampire and I compelled you to be like, "You're all right," that means you're gonna cut yourself in half and get rid of your left side?
no. I don't know.
Maybe.
Because you're using my brain now, you just said.
Maybe I just walk in circles all the damn time because I'm always going to the right. I'm all right.
Or she thinks she's always right.
She's not an ambi turner.
No, like Dom's, he's going for like,
Yeah, I know the thought. Yeah.
physicality. You're all right, not
Yeah.
not like you feel all right or
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'd love to see how that works. You get a literal vampire like me.
that'd be hilarious.
Oh my god, it'd be
And
horrible.
shenanigan filled.
Oh, it'd be horrible.
Who
Who knows what he would do to people?
Cammy kind of almost had a one-up on Lucian, gets him to heal the detective, and then says, "Here, the thing you're looking for is in this skull." It's like, really? Picks the skull up, like, I wonder, oh my god, that hurts. If she was just a little bit quicker on the draw, she probably could have staked them.
Mm-hmm.
And they would have been bye-bye Lucian. But,
Yeah.
no.
I mean, that's the big plan now. Get rid of Lucian. Get rid of
Yeah.
Tristan. Get rid of Aurora. Is that her name?
Yes.
Well, that's going to get complicated, and we will talk about that in a moment.
It's already complicated.
Mm-hmm.
They thought they were the Mikealsons for 1,000 years.
100.
100. Give or take a 0.
Yeah. It
A
was
long ass time.
What's 1 0?
The difference between 100 and 1,000. It's
So,
actually quite profuse.
Exactly. What's a 0? Who cares?
But anyway, eventually, Cammy has to relent because he's going to have the detective cut his own throat. And she hands over the medallion, which was in an object of some sort.
It looked like like one of those paper pinners.
Yeah.
The spindle.
So
Yeah.
we can only assume that
Yeah.
this is the weapon that Lucian's been looking for a while. And again, more to talk about later.
We
But-
learned a little bit about that weapon, though.
Yeah, because Aurora,
They need
Aurora
Davina.
wraps up a whole bunch of things in a nice little neat bow at the end of this episode. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna talk about that in a nice little neat bow.
You cannot tell us what to do.
We will talk about what we want when we want to.
We're gonna talk about Haley and how she was being tailed by a
Is she
character.
wearing a bow?
No, she could be. But how they killed off a character that had a lot of potential for backstory. And that would be Shenmin. Or Shenmin. I probably spelled it wrong.
Chex Mix.
Yeah,
Chex Mix.
Yeah, check.
Chex Mix.
That's a complete torture,
Chex
from
Mix. Got it.
Genghis Khan times.
Yeah,
Chex Mix was awesome.
Chex Mix was awesome.
Totally was.
But anyway, Haley was being tailed, and she winds up biting the guy, which I forget. It's like you come across a vampire who may be stronger or better trained than you. Bite him. There's your one-up. Knock him out.
The thing is, though, I don't think he was scared because it seems like Tristan and Lucian already have their homemade cure. They don't need the blood of the original.
Right, exactly.
We don't know how many members of the Strix have that either.
There is that. We've only seen Lucian use it.
Yeah.
And he's not a member of the Strix, technically.
Oh, they're working together, so why?
Yeah. She knocks him out, gets Marcel. He recognizes him as Shen Min, who was apparently a guy who's the torture advisor for Genghis Khan, which just sounds lovely.
I wanted to see more of him, but I knew that wasn't going to happen.
As Elijah put it, like, need I remind you that he was known as the Crimson Terror before he was a vampire? At that moment, I would have been like, yup, click, kill.
So he was a tampon before he was a vampire.
I was going to say he was a tampon before he was a vampire. The bane of women's existence.
We're awful.
We are awful. You guys more so than me, I think, but we're all awful. They get a little information out of him, but not before, Haley and Marcel almost get killed at the exact same time.
That was a little frightening.
That was a little frightening.
It's like when you watch WWF and you get the Undertaker. He's got like Stone Cold Steve Austin in one arm, The Rock in the other arm,
and then John Cena whacks him with a chair.
No, he goes for the double choke slam, and then his brother Kane just comes up behind and like smacks him in the back with the head of the chair. But like this, it's like it's not the throat. He's got them by their hearts. I was like, that can't feel good.
Ridiculous, and I'm sad that he's dead.
Yeah, Elijah came along and ran him through with a stake.
No, that was a sword. He was still bleeding out somewhere.
Oh, it was a sword. I thought it was a stake.
No,
he wanted him alive to question him. I know.
Yeah.
Which they did. And using compulsion, Elijah finds out that what did he really find out? That they're after Haley to remove her from the playing field because they need to get to Davina. And as long as Haley's in the picture, it's going to be very difficult to get to Davina. Which is probably why they sent him.
Also, I don't think Haley would have cared. But now that they're buddy-buddy.
Yeah.
And now that she knows, she's going to be
even more so.
She's going to be Haley's. She's going to be Davina's guard dog. Definitely.
Right.
And of course, they're just going to leave Freya to babysit Hope.
But before he could, be compelled to spill any more beans, he ripped his daylight ring off and burst into flames, thus ending 800 years of probably a really good character.
I'm sad.
Yeah, it was kind of saddening.
They've already introduced way too many characters this season, in my opinion.
You're right. They have.
He's an amazing character, but they already have 10 mediocre characters that they've already introduced.
Yeah, that's true. So now for the complications of this whole thing. Because, as mentioned before, they just want to get rid of Lucian and Tristan and Aurora. But after this episode, I don't think Klaus really wants to get rid of Aurora.
I don't think Aurora is on the same page as Tristan and Lucian.
Yeah, she's
definitely on the same page. They're just in different books.
Different editions of the same book? Or just different books entirely?
Completely different books.
She's on a biology book, page 5, and they're on a How to Kill
a Mockingbird.
Page 5.
Yes.
Anyway.
Or Lord of the Flies. However you see it.
Klaus gives her a tour of the city, takes her to various places. They have quips back and forth about, each other, trying to figure out whose side she's on and all that stuff. And he kind of seals the deal, showing her his old art studio with a whole bunch of paintings of her.
What?
I don't know what the hell's going on.
I don't know either.
It looked like Bee was falling asleep, so I poked her.
But
That's dangerous.
that won Klaus some brownie points and a naked Aurora in his bed.
Yeah, that was to be expected.
It was to be
Oh, yeah.
expected.
That's what I was
And
into.
at which point, after Klaus getting the phone call about Rebecca... Oh, fuck, Dom. Here I am trying to keep us on track.
I broke her again.
While she unbreaks herself. Yeah, Klaus gets the message that Rebecca is gone, and he's ready to tear Aurora's face off. And then she tells him, like, I hid a couple of my guys among the Strix, and they took Rebecca's body for me somewhere safe.
Mm-hmm.
I
now-
thought she said that she was coming to Klaus. Like she was bringing Rebecca to Klaus. Or
Oh.
did I mishear that?
I don't remember, honestly.
I'm not sure.
Uh,
She's coming
is-
for Klaus, I know that much.
She was coming for Klaus, but I don't know if she was bringing Rebecca's body.
Literally.
Oh, Jesus, Tom.
Did you not pick up on that?
Tick, 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 ding. Oh, I got it. I'm sorry, it's late. Anyway, she, I don't know, do you think she would keep Rebecca's body safe to use it as leverage, or, I mean,
No.
No, Aurora can't do anything to Rebecca because if Rebecca dies, she dies.
true.
I mean, I was all
That's
for
the
like
whole point of this. There's a medallion, this object. Like we found out that it can imprison people.
Well, that's what we assume this medallion is. Aurora mentions an object called the Ceratura, which I guess is the medallion. I mean, it could be something entirely different. We don't know quite for sure. But it's an object that can create an impenetrable barrier. Like, apparently completely impenetrable. And the plan for... Tristan, Lucian, and Aurora want to take their sires, throw them in this barrier, so that A, they're stuck in there for all time and out of the picture, and B, they're stuck in there for all time and cannot be harmed. Which is a pretty good way to ensure their survival and that no one can eliminate an entire sire line
Yeah, I mean, so
by taking out, the source.
a Ceratura, I just Googled it really quick, and basic Latin translation is it's a bolt or a lock from a locksmith's trade.
oh, so it's like a key, say like the compass or whatever it was in the Vampire Diaries for the prison world that the Gemini Coven made.
Kind of. It seems like you're putting it away for safekeeping almost.
Yeah,
So,
a lock. I mean, you could say, a barrier that locks everything inside. But aside from all this, we got a little bit of background on the three amigos, I'll call them from now on. But,
the three caballeros.
yeah, sure, that. And maybe a little bit of their motivations. We find out through, was it Aurora or Lucian? I believe it was Lucian. Yeah, because we didn't see Tristan this episode at all. He regales Cammy, I believe it is, with how Elijah compels the three of them into thinking that they were the Mikealsons. And
Who got to be Cole? Who got to be Finn? That's what I want to know. Are there two other people running out there that think they were two of the other Mikealson kids?
it's possible they just compelled two random people. Or they just, I don't know, they didn't really
Because I
expand on
understand.
that.
I understand, like, Rebecca, Klaus, and Elijah are kind of like the three main ones because Finn's been dead since the series started, and Cole was daggered at the
It's
start of this.
possible.
Don't think it matters the number.
Oh, Cole was dead when
the,
this show started too, wasn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't.
It was the action that Michael was tracking, not the actual people. It was
Yeah,
the
no, I get it
actions.
because they were using their names and
Yeah.
different things out in the world, so that's how he was able to track them. But back then, why would you only
And
have
no,
three names?
look, it's very likely that Finn and Cole both sired somebody, and they compelled a full group of 5 people, And it really doesn't matter mentioning the other two because they're both dead. It doesn't matter.
Now.
They're both dead. It doesn't matter when they died.
Oh, yeah, because
they died when Finn and Cole's original body died.
Yes,
if they were still alive.
You're right.
So, the characters don't need mentioning because they're gone.
That's true. I forgot about that.
So
Minute detail.
It is very, very. I would say it's very likely that Finn and Cole had, an analog.
Well, I mean, though how reckless Cole was, he probably made many sires before they even thought of making. Before even freaking Lucian was an accident,
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, they gave us the impression that Lucian was the very first.
They did,
yeah.
But I mean, like I said, Cole was reckless.
Yeah.
And Finn just seemed like he had a stick up his ass all the time.
He did.
He's still a mama's boy.
He still is.
Even though he's dead.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, we hear... it was from Elijah, too. He got daggered at one point because Elijah did all the compelling, and he got daggered, and that broke all the compulsion. And it snapped, Aurora and Tristan and Lucian out of their trances.
Yeah, I was wondering what did that. So Elijah... Okay, so Elijah was the one that compelled them all.
Yep.
Because he's the one who figured out how to compel.
Yeah, okay, got it. I was like, how did the compulsion break? Okay.
So yeah, when Elijah got daggered, after 100 years, they all broke, and they said it was like, stepping out of a night. I don't know how you would say it. It's like living your whole life for 50 years and then realizing you're not who you thought you were.
Yeah.
You're a completely different person.
It's like having amnesia and then getting your memory back and retaining two sets of identities.
Trying to, reconcile those two identities.
Yeah.
Drive anybody mad.
Mm-hmm.
But they all made a pact of vengeance to eliminate the originals, and they assumingly spent the last 900 years looking for a weapon to do so.
Yep.
And, during that whole time, and then, they got sidetracked by a whole bunch of things. Tristan being a psychopath probably didn't help. Aurora being 5 boxes of batshit crazy.
Do you think the prophecy is going to pan out to be true? Like, with this weapon, could they be imprisoned and then appear to be murdered so the prophecy holds true?
I don't think prophecies work like that. I think they're very literal.
Right, so
this could be a red herring.
How are we gonna kill off the originals then, without destroying all the bloodlines if the prophecy is true?
I think I remember Aurora saying that, basically, that the prophecy was a piece of shit, just like the person who told it.
And you also realize something. The prophecy says they're going to fall. I mean, being locked in, it doesn't say how big this barrier is, but one could assume it's not huge. Being locked in, an impenetrable zone that you cannot escape for all of eternity, that seems like falling.
Yeah, they're losing their power. That's a fall.
Yeah.
So it's, that's very possible. That's what the prophecy mentioned. But it's likely that's different now. But also, this whole barrier thing could be a red herring that Aurora is feeding Klaus just to keep him less suspicious.
Yeah.
It's possible that they really did find a weapon.
Possible. I don't know. I mean, I thought Aurora was super crazy obsessive before, like with her brother. I swore to God that it was Tristan who sired her, and she was like there was that bond.
But it seemed like.
It seemed like that. But you see, when she was walking around with Klaus this episode, she seemed normal. She was quirky. She was sassy. She was sarcastic. But what 800 vampire wouldn't be?
True.
Gildarts has been filling up chat with puns all night, and this is the one. This is the one that got me. However they go about killing these vampires, I think it's safe to say they would go with the original plan.
I'm done. I had a thought.
That's the one that got me.
I had a
There's
thought.
a couple that I was like, oh god.
I had an on-target thought, and it's gone entirely.
No, I think she's more against Lucian and Tristan than we're meant to think.
Yeah, it's possible.
I
mean,
think she really wants to preserve the Sire lines, and she doesn't want them to be locked away. She wants to be with Klaus, and she wants to be, like, you saw, Aurora and Rebecca were kind of besties.
Mm-hmm.
they were.
So
That's why Rebecca ended up turning her when Klaus didn't want to. So.
well, yeah. Also, Aurora had cut her wrist, so I mean, Rebecca wanted to save her. So
Yeah.
There was that.
yeah.
So that's about that for this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Really.
Yeah, we didn't see Davina.
No Davina.
We didn't see
There's
anything
mention.
of Jackson. There was mention, but we didn't see anything of
no
Jackson.
mention of Jackson.
Name
I
drop
mean-
on Davina.
Yep. It was actually kind of interesting how Kinney he started to connect all the dots. Like, he's like, this is what happened to your brother. This is
Yeah.
what happened to your uncle. Oh my god. How am I going to explain this? And then,
Not only
Lucian's
that,
like,
but
you're forgetting.
yeah. Lucian's very detailed, like, you will remain on this case, and it will eat away at you, and you will progress nowhere on this case, and,
You'll
it-
eventually come to hate yourself because of it and
Yeah,
all this other
it's
stuff.
just
And
like-
I'm just like,
whew, that is some Dom level shit right there.
that is devious. And
I mean, that's just as bad as when Will Smith in Men in Black when he first got the flasher. You know, when he flashed his first person,
Woo.
and it was the guy with the sugar, his wife, the old in the farm.
Oh.
Oh,
just
yeah.
okay.
He's like, you're
It's
gonna
like-
find nice drapes. You're gonna redo the
Yeah,
I
house.
like-
his whole big detail of all the stuff that
I mean, he was
she
still
did.
doing that to the medical examiner.
yeah,
I
like, Edgar ran off with an old boyfriend from an old girlfriend. You're gonna go take a few days, stay with your mom, and realize that you're better off without him. It's like,
You're gonna sew some curtains.
oh yeah, no, I'm sorry. The first it was Flash is like, there are no such thing as aliens, yeah, and all this other stuff. Like, that was it. That her memory's gone. That was that weak ass sob story. It's like, on a more personal note, he ran off with a girlfriend. It's like, yeah, you didn't need him anyway. And then I just love it. It was too detailed.
Big,
Mike.
it's big
Yeah.
long thing of all the stuff that she needs to do.
What?
You will not talk about Men in Black anymore.
I don't know, Dom. You went on off tangents on Vampire Diaries. I thought it was my turn.
I just used the memory thing. That's all.
Peekaboo.
Peekaboo, Dom. So next episode is called Out of the Easy. And here is the synopsis. I need like epic
In
movie man
fire.
voice to read this one.
Okay, I want to hear it.
I can't do it though. That's the problem.
That's why he says he needs one, but he doesn't. He can't.
I
do
mean,
it.
the best approximation I could go is, just like, with a dire prophecy looming over them. And it's not even that great.
It's better.
Klaus and Elijah invite Lucian, Tristan, and Aurora to a Thanksgiving gathering in an attempt to negotiate a truce. When Aurora reveals that she has powerful leverage over Klaus, Haley and Freya take matters into their own hands, leading to a deadly three-way confrontation. I like the word deadly.
Not three-way.
I don't care about the word Dudley. Three-way. Come on.
Yeah,
Elsewhere, Marcel and Vincent are forced to take drastic measures when they realize Davina may be in over her head, and Cammy finds herself face-to-face with a dangerous new threat.
Dun, dun, dun.
Next time on the originals. I had to restrain myself from saying Dragon Ball Z. I really did.
It would make sense if some of the characters had the same fucking names, but they don't.
I'm aware. So I watched the preview, and everybody's like, oh, I love Thanksgiving. And here's, Freya and Elijah and Klaus and, Lucian, Tristan, Aurora all sitting there. And all of a sudden, you just see, Klaus makes a sarcastic comment, and Freya just snaps her fingers, and Aurora's head, twists 5 times around.
Is there going to be no mention? Did we not mention the fight that Klaus and Elijah had at the beginning of this episode? And
It was the end
Well-
of it was the end of last episode.
right,
Yeah.
but it carried into this one.
And in the beginning of this is just Freya looking through the devastation, and then she sees the two of them having a drink together.
So it's like, We had a very civil discussion.
Yeah.
I mean, it ended
Those
way
boys-
better than I
boys
thought it was
thing.
going to.
It's like,
Yeah.
but
I legit
gentlemen
thought they were
know-
going to go their separate ways.
Gentlemen know when to stop fighting, like, and
We
focus
piss
on
at
the
each
real
other, and then
thing.
we're like, "Oh, I love you again."
Yeah, that's definitely my highlight of this
And-
episode was that opening scene.
But it was such a fucking tease because the end of last episode, it made it seem like Klaus and Elijah are at each other's
Oh, yeah.
throats, and you know they're going to side with their sire lines and all this. In the beginning of this episode, they're just like, "Nah, we're good."
100%.
Well, you got to remember, they know that these people are purposely fucking with them.
Yeah,
So,
they do now.
no, they knew that even before the fight.
Truth.
They just needed to hash things out. Like, that was, like, legit to Klaus. That's what started him on this, reign of terror that we so call a reign of terror anyways.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he doesn't want to be like that. You saw him with Aurora in the flashbacks. The only time he was vicious was when he was eating. It's because that's how he has to survive.
Very true. Anyway, that's our show. Miss Nikki, where can they find you?
They can find me on Twitter at LadyVenom24, LadyVenom24.
Peekaboo Dom with new special quick peekaboo action. Where can they find you?
You can find me down below at Phenomenon. PHENOMEDOM.
Great.
Belong on Sesame Street.
Wow.
Kim, whose new nickname is going to be Giggles soon. Where can they find you?
At HUFFITY, PUFFITY.
You also belong on Sesame Street. You got the jams down.
You can find me on Twitter at Philidrin. THILLADRAN. Blah, blah, blah. I fucked that up. Anyway. Quiet, I'm tired. You can find all of us on Facebook, Twitter, Gmail, Google+, MySpace, and YouTube at ASOTV Podcast. You can follow us there for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.